I imagine, which means to stand. Salakia. La Yashala, which means to Israel. I imagine, which means to stand. Down, which means to face the east. All right. We are going to get into the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. All right. All right. Here we go. We'll find out down once again means to face the east. This is the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kadash, Hayah, Shekah, Yahweh, Malakwatha, Daba'ah, Wadazaka, Hayah, Asha, Barakazah, Kawa, Hayah, Vashamayim, Thalanawa, Nakam, Kol, Yabon, Vasalakanawa, Kabawatnawa, Kasalakanawa, Kawatnawa, Wala'ah, Taba'anawa, Wanasawan, Abal, Awashayanawa, Mayan, Rai, Kayah, Lakut, Amalakwa, Wa'alawat, Aparach, La Alamu, Aman. In the English, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. So be it. Amen. Hakak, the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Baba Bashah, Nathan Hakak, La Ba'ah, Kal Makalah. Call my Nawah, Hakak, Latahar, Hamatazari, Hakak, Lahakim, Hamathim, Hakak, Arakawat, Hatama'ala, the Garshan, Washimia Washah, Tawada Aman. The power in the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai. Please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahushai, thank you, so be it. Bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Barak Lanawa, Wayasha'ala, Wahabayah, Sapari, Barak, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Tawada Aman. In the English, what we just said was, Lord, in the name of Yahushai, bless us and Yasha'ala, and the school. In the name of Yahushai, thank you, so be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayemya, Ahari, Slak, Ahari, Ma'ayan, Yaba'ah, Azaria, Ma'ayan, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Warakasa, Ayathan, Lamawats, Regoth, Ayanawam, Shamartha, Hana, La'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yayashan, Shawamar, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shamartha, Yahweh, Zazalfa, Ayah, Yamyanka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'ah, Yatakat, Wayarak, Layala, Yahweh, Yashamartha, Makal Rai, Yashamar Aklapashka Yahweh, Yashamar Zagaatha, Wawawatka, Mayatha, Wa'ai Awalam. Psalms 121 in the English. I will lift up mine eyes into the hills from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Yasha'ala shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. Psalms 83 in Hebrew. Alahayim, Adam Yalaka, Atha Korash, Wa'al Thashakwa, All, Kayahana, Awakita, Yahamay 1, Ra'ash, Al Amika, Yarayon, Sawada, Wayatha, Waytasawa, Al Traza Pawanyaka, Amara, Lakawa, Nakakidam, Magoya. Wala Ayasakar, Shamya Sha'ala, Ira, Kiyat, Nawai Tasawa, Laba, Yakadwa, Alika, Bariat, Yakarakwa, Ahoya, Anawam, Wayashima Alayam, Mua'awa, Wagarian, Kabal, Wanawan, Wanalak, Alashat, Amishabia, Tazabor, Gamashawar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Sarai, Abanda Wat, Salah, Ashabaham, Kamati, Kasiyat Saraa, Kayabi, Banakor, Koyashwan, Nashamatwa, Bayanga Aura. Ayawa, Daman, La'adama, Shatamwa, Nada Yamawa, Kaira, Wakazabak, Wakazazor, Karnasi, Akumra, Ashar, Amara, Narashat, Lanawa, Ath, Na'awa, Alahayim, Alahaya, Shatamwa, Kabogala, Kabwash, Lapanya Rabaka, Ka'ash, the Viri Ira, Wakalaba, Kalahat, Harden, Khan, Gatma, Besirika, Wabasa, Wapaka, Kalahum, Mala'a, Panyahum, Kwalawan, Mayaba Kwashma, Shaka, Yahweh, Yabashko, let me see. Waya Bahor, Waya Waya Kaparwa, Waya Abadwa, Waya Daiwa, Kaya Atha, Shaka, Yahweh, Abakta, Army 1, Al Kaharakazak. Psalms 83 in the English. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off of being a nation, that the name of Yasharahla may be no more in remembrance. But they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and Hagarenes, Cabal, and Ammon, and Amalek. The Philistines, the habits of Tyre, the shore also is shorn with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as a Sisera, as Jabin, at the brook of Kisan, which fares at Endor. They became as dung for the earth, made noise like Ored, and like Zed. Yea, are the princes as Abad and as Ramuna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession, O my power, making like a wheel as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burns the wood, and as the flames set the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill the faces with shame that they may seek thy name, O Lord. Let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. All right. Power structures. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, listen to us now, right now. Sing evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us. Thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen. And shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites, and the nations, and the drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Pazifamatazi, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet and the airways, the cable access channels and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all of the heathen that stand in the way. But try to stop us and broadcast your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahweh Shai, Michael, and Gabriel come down to flying saucers and punish all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that is the angels that have done this. Cause it to be spread through the media, throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh Shai, I thank you always. So be it. All right. Sorry, which means to turn in Hebrew. All right. All right. You got that? All right. Your Shabu, which means to be seated. Okay. All right. All right. So first things first. Shalom, Yahweh Shemel Shah Barakatam to the brothers. Shalom, Yahweh Shamar, Yahweh Shemel Shah to the sisters. If any brothers or sisters have any questions or concerns, you can definitely type it into the chat. All right. Otherwise, we are going to get into. Let me see here. Most High Christ. We are going to get into the Hebrew, and we are going to get into the actual scriptures of Genesis chapter 30. Let me see. Let me just make sure I get it. Let me see. One moment here. Y'all bear with me real quick. Okay. All right. No sweat. No sweat. All right. So we are in Genesis chapter 30, verse 4, verses 31 to 9. I'm sorry, chapter 31 to verse 9. All right. So we got a lot to read through. Okay. All right. It's a lot to bear with me. Okay. All right. If anybody got any questions or concerns, go ahead and type it into the chat. Right here, I'm available to answer any questions. Also, too, we have the QR code that's on the screen. If you would like to, check out our other channels or platforms, you can go ahead and scan that on the screen. All right, and it will take you to all of our social medias. Okay. All right, so we are going to get into it in a second. Y'all bear with me real quick. Let me see here. Salaki, y'all, just give me 1 second. 1 second. Give me 1 second. All right. All right. So like y'all bear with me real quick. All right. So let's go ahead and get into Genesis chapter 30, verses 4. All right. And of course, 4. Right, yeah. So give me 1 second here. Let me see. So okay. Let me see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, cool. All right, no sweat. All right. All right. So let's go to Genesis chapter 30, verse 4. And it reads in Hebrew. Watathan, Lawa, Ath, Balaha, Shapatha, Lasha, Wayaba'a, it's like Waba'a, Aliyah, Yaikwa, verse 5, Watahar, Balaha, Watala, La Yaikwa, Bun, verse 6, Watamar, Rakol, Danunya, Alahayim, Wagum, Shemai, Bakwalya, Wayathan, Laya, Bun, Al, Kun, Para'ah, Shemai, Done. Verse 7. Watahar, Iwad, Watalad, Balaha, Shalaki, Shapakath, Recall, Bun, Shunya, Layakwa, verse 8, Watamar, Recall, Shalaki, give me 1 second here. Napak Oya, Alahayim, Napathol Latia, Ain, Aki, Akwatia, Gum, Yakor Lakia, Watakora'ah, Salaki, Shemai, Napatholia, verse 9, Watara'ah, Laha, Kaya, Amadah, Malatha, Watakwak, Zalapah, Shapakath, 1 second. All right. Watathun, Atha, Layakwa, La Shah, verse 10, last verse. Watalad, Sarapah, Shapakath, La'ah, Salaki, Laha, Layakwa, Bun. And that's it on that part. Clap it up. All right. So, as you know, that was 7 verses, okay? So let's get into Genesis chapter 30, verse 4 through 10, okay? Okay, all right. So it reads. So last week we had went over how Jacob had 2 wives. He wanted Rachel, but Leah was the older child. And of course, he was, beguiled and tricked into sleeping with the firstborn versus the secondborn, which would be Rachel. Leah is the firstborn, she's the oldest, and the youngest would be Rachel, all right? But Jacob wanted Rachel this entire time. But however, the agreement was not, the contract was broken between Jacob and Laban, okay, so to speak. All right, they agreed on something. That's exactly what did not happen. They had a feast. They was eating. They was drinking. Having a good time. And before you know it, in that tent, when he woke up and realized that he's had sex with a different woman than the one that he truly wanted, he had an issue and had a problem, and he took it up with Laban. And Laban pretty much said, "Look, if you want my daughter, the oldest has to be married first before the youngest. So if you want Rachel, you had to work for me for another 7 years." And Jacob had no issue with that. And also the scriptures say it was like as if, like paraphrasing, but
it went by very quickly, as if those 7 years never really happened. It went by too fast. Those 7 years seemed like it was like a day or a week, and how fast that he worked within those 7 years, and how much he was truly, infatuated in the love that he had for this woman. He truly wanted this woman. He truly desired that woman. And because of that, he decided to do another 7 years. And now he had two wives. But of course, Leah and Rachel, they had children. And one was not able to have children, so they gave one of their maidservants unto Jacob to have children for her. And then Leah did the same thing. So Leah and Rachel did the same thing, and that's where you get the 12 tribes. And also, too, Jacob did have a daughter. Okay, that's also in the scriptures. You'll find it out a little bit later. But, that's how the story goes, okay? Let's keep going. Yeah, so, yep, all right. So, yeah, let me see here. Give me 1 second, y'all. All right. Y'all bear with me. All right. All right, so let's go ahead and get to it. Genesis chapter 30, verse 4. And she gave him Bilhah, her handmaid, to wife. And Jacob went in unto her, meaning that he slept with her. All right. Give me 1 second. All right. All right. So, all right. And she gave him Bilhah, her handmaid, to wife. And Jacob went in unto her. Verse 5. And Bilhah conceived and bare Jacob a son. Verse 6. And Rachel said, God hath judged me, and hath also heard my voice, and hath given me a son. Therefore called his name Dan. Verse 7. And Bilhah, Rachel's maid, conceived again, and bare Jacob a second son. Verse 8. And Rachel said, with great wrestling have I wrestled with my sister, and I have prevailed, and she called his name Naphtali. All right. Verse 9. When Leah saw that she had left bearing, she took Zilpah, her maid, and gave her Jacob to wife. So now this is the fourth wife. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a son. Okay. Now, once again, this is very absolutely beautiful because, once again, this is an introduction, as far as I know, when it comes to multiple wives. It was never a sin. But the Most High didn't punish Jacob because he slept with four women and to have all of these children. Because it was so much of a sin, the Most High would have punished and never allowed those children to either be born, or he would have did something to the actual people who was, as far as Jacob, sleeping around with multiple women. However, these women were not whores. These women only knew who? Jacob, meaning that they only slept with Jacob and nobody else, whose name is Yaquab, but later changed to Israel, right? Or Yasha'Allah in Hebrew. Yaquab is Hebrew as well for Jacob. Jacob is the English, Yaquab is the Hebrew translation. So Jacob did a righteous deed. You know what I mean? These women gave their maids to have children for them, to be like what you would call today as surrogates. Okay? To be a surrogate in a sense, right? Which is not unlawful. It's a choice if you want to. If you just can't have children, you can't have children, but you can also pray to the Lord and show him that you are worthy for him to open your womb so that way you can have children. All right? I mean, there's so many amazing stories in the UPK where sisters come in here and they're not able to have children, as far as what they were told by their physician. Now, when they marry a man or they're already married coming into the school, and once they keep the law, statutes, and commandments, and they are living a life differently and righteously, upright, then the Most High blesses them with a child. You know what I mean? I'm talking about there are brothers and sisters who are having their first child in their 30s and 40s, sometimes 50s. You know what I mean? And they were told for many years that they were not able to have children, but now they are, which is absolutely amazing and beautiful. Okay? All right, let's keep it going. All right. All right. That's it on that. All right. Okay. All right. One more here. Okay. All right. Let me see here. All right. Here we go. All right. So let's go back into the Hebrew. So we got verses 6, 7. All right, we got verses 11 through 17. All right, let's go ahead and get it. All right, Genesis chapter 30, verse 11. Watamar laha bagad ba'a gad or gad watakara'a. Select watakara qara'a. Select watakara'a at Shemai God. Verse 12. Watala Zalapa Shapakat Sila Shapakat Laha Bun Shanya Layakwa. Verse 13. Watamar Laha Basharia Basharia Kaya Asherwanya Banawath Watakara'a Ath Shemai. I think it's Shamwa. It's like it. Shamwa. Ashar. Verse 14. Wayalak. Ra'awaban. Bayamya. Quatazarar. Quatazayar. Katawam. Wayamataza. Dawadayim. Bashada. Wayaba'a. Atham. Al. Laha. Amawa. Watamar. Recall. Al. Laha. Tanya. Na'a. Laya. Madawadia. Banak. Slacking. Banak. There we go. Verse 15. Watamar. La'a. Hamite. So Quakatak. Ayashia. Wala the quack. Wala quack. No. Wala ka. Gum. Ah. Dawadaya. Bunya. Watamar. Recall. Lakan. Yashaka. Aimak. Halayala. Taka. Dawadaya. Banak. Verse 16. Wayaba'a. Yaikwa. Man. Hashada. Bayra. Wata taza'a. Laha. La kura afwa. Wata amor. Auya. Tabawa'a. Kaya. Shakar. Shakarath. Salai. Shakarath. Salai. Shakarath. Yak. Salai. Bawada'aya. Banya. Wayashaka. Aima. Balala. Hawa'a. Verse 17, last verse. Wayashamai. Alahayim. Al. Laha. Watahar. Watalad. Layakwa. Bun. Tamashia. And that's it on that. Let's clap it up. All right, let's keep it going. Let's waste no time. All right. All right. Let me see here. Y'all bear with me real quick. All right. All right. So let's get back into the Hebrew. The English. This is Genesis chapter 30, verse 11 through 17. Verse 11. And Leah said, a troop cometh, and she called his name Gad. Now Gad would be the so-called, you know what I mean? So let me see. All right. All right. So, and Leah said, a troop cometh, and she called his name Gad. Gad is the North American Indians, as we know as the Native Indians in America today. All right. That's who Gad is. Okay. Also, too, we did see another tribe, right? Naphtali is the, of course, the Hispanics, but the specific tribe. Let me see here. Don't quote me yet. Just give me 1 second. Let me try to figure that out real quick. I forget off the top. Naphtali. Give me 1 second here. I'm trying to remember. I know it's not the Cubans. That's Shemai one. No, that's Manasseh. Let me see. Okay, here we go. All right. Naphtali is Argentina to Chile. All right. That's who Naphtali is. Argentina to Chile. Okay. And Gad is the North American Indians. So let's keep going. Verse 12. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a second son. Verse 13. And Leah said, happy am I, for the daughters will call me blessed. And she called his name Asher. All right. Happy am I is Asher. Right. And now Asher is going to be the Columbia to Uruguay. All right. So once again, another Hispanic tribes, all right, or Latino tribes, okay? Latina tribes, all right? Verse 14. And Reuben went in the days of wheat harvest and found mandrakes in the field and brought them unto his mother Leah. Then Rachel said to Leah, give me, I pray thee, of thy son's mandrakes. Let's keep going. Verse 15. And she said unto her, Is it a small matter that thou hast taken my husband, and wouldest thou take away my son's mandrakes also? And Rachel said, Therefore he shall lie with thee tonight for thy son's mandrakes. So Leah and Rachel are pretty much arguing and bickering with each other over mandrakes, clothing, and also arguing with the fact that, are you going to steal my husband and steal something from my children at the same time as well? So they are going against each other. They are very much upset with each other. All right. And also too, as far as the UPK stance, it's very wise that when it comes to marrying a sister, it's probably not the wisest thing to marry their actual blood sister. It's better just to, not keep it so close. It's probably wise not to marry, a sister and her actual blood sister that she came out the same womb as, right? It's probably best to, get you a sister here and there, but not so close because it can cause issue and problems for you. And that's just simple. That's straightforward wisdom. All right. Because as we see what happened, Jacob had married two sisters that were actually related to each other under the house of Laban. And it caused issues. It caused a lot of issues for them, all right? The arguing, the bickering, and, them going against each other, trying to get children one up on each other. It's just crazy, all right? So anyway, I would just say be careful, okay? All right. Okay, so yeah. All right, so anyway, let's get back to it. And Reuben, right? As you know, we know who Reuben is. Reuben, of course, is going to be give me one second. Reuben, of course, is the Seminole Indians. Okay. All right, verse 15. Oh, no, I already read that. Verse 16. And Jacob came out of the field in the evening, and Leah went out to meet him, and said, Thou must come in unto me, for surely I have hired thee with my son's mandrakes. And he lay with her that night. So Leah goes to Jacob saying, Look, hey, I need some rye. I need you to come inside of me. I need you to plant your seed in my garden in order to have another child. All right. So the battle continues. It continues to the point where they want more children. Once again, they are in competition with each other. A lot of women today are very much in competition with one another, and it can get pretty ugly. But in this case, Leah wants more children, so does Rachel. Okay, give me 1 second here. Yeah. So yeah. All right. All right. Let's keep it going. All right. One moment. All right. Verse 17. And God hearkened unto Leah, and she conceived and bare Jacob the fifth son. So we are going to figure out who the fifth son is. Okay. So let's get back into the Hebrew, right? And that was all 7 verses. All right. We are getting closer to the end. We are getting towards the middle. So let's get to it. So verses 18 through 24. All right. Y'all bear with me real quick. All right. Bear with me. Okay. All right. So, all right, let's get back to it. So let's go into the Hebrew, right? All right. Verse 18 through 24. Genesis chapter 30, verse 18. Wata Amar, Laha, Nathan, Alahayim, Shakariah, Ashar, Nathaniah, Shapakathia, Laayashia, Wata Kora'ah, Shamwa, Yashakar, verse 19. Watahar, Iwad, Laaha, Watalad, Bun, Shashathia, Layaikwa, verse 20. Watamar, Laaha, Salaji, Sabadanya, Alahayim, Athia, Zabad, Tawab, Papayim, yes, Saladi, yes, a Berlin, yes, a Berlania, Yazabalania, Ayashia, Kaya, Yaladafia, yeah. Lawa, Shasha, Banyam, Watakara, Shamwa, Zabalawan, verse 21. Wakar, Yalada, Ba, Watakara, Shema, Diana, verse 22. Wayazakar, Alahayim, Rakal, Wayashama, Aliyah, Alahayim, Wayapathak, Rakama, verse 23. Watahar, Watalad, Van, Watamar, Asap, Alahayim, Karapathia, verse 24, last verse. Watakara, Shamwa, Yawasak, Laamar, Yasak, Yahweh, Laya, Bun, Akar. And that's it on that. Stop it up. All right. All right, let's get back to it. Genesis chapter 30, verse 18 through 24. And Leah said, God have given me my hire, because I have given my maiden to my husband. And she called his name Issachar. As you know, Issachar or Yashakar is the so-called Mexicans right now in this day and time, all right? Verse 20, verse 19. And Leah conceived again and bare Jacob the sixth son. Verse 20. And Leah said, God hath endued me. Endued me with a good dowry. Now will my husband dwell with me, because I have borne him 6 sons. And she called his name Zabalawan. Is how you say it in the Hebrew, but Zabalam is how it's pronounced, but it's Zabalawan. All right. 21. And afterwards she bare a daughter and called her name Dinah. All right. Dinah or Diana. Okay. Verse 22. And God remembered Rachel, and God hearkened to her and opened her womb. Verse 23. And she conceived and bare a son and said, God hath taken away my reproach. Verse 24. And she called his name Joseph, and said, the Lord shall add to me another son. All right. So, all right, she had a son named Joseph as well. Okay. And then we are going to stop right there. So once again, this chapter, chapter 30, is really just speaking about how this is really speaking about how the Most High is just giving you the breakdown of each tribe and all the children that Jacob had. Now, mind you, as far as Dan had ended up going into, he wasn't much of a tribe. He had low numbers to the point where the rest of the people of Dan that there were, they went into, they joined with Manasseh. So they pretty much, so Manasseh makes up the tribe of Dan as well. Okay, that's a whole nother breakdown that we can get into very soon. All right. All right, so that's very straightforward, straight to the point. Let's get back into the Hebrew. All right, we are getting close and close. All right. All right, we almost done here. All right, let's get to it. All right. June 25, 231, 7. All right. 7. Let me see. All right, here we go. All right. Genesis chapter 30, verse 25. Okay. 1 second here. Okay. All right, here we go. Genesis chapter 30, verse 25. Wa Yahya. It's like, what? Yahya. Kashar. Yaladah. Rakon. Ath. Yawasak. Wayamar. Yaikwa. Al. Laban. Shalakanya. Wa alaka. Al. Makawamya. All right. Well, Salaki. Wala Ratasa. Yeah. Salaki. Wala Ratasa. Verse 26. Tana. Ath. Nashia. Wa'ath. Yaladia. Ashar. Abadathia. Athak. Vahan. Walaka. Kaya. Athah. Yedayat. Ath. Abadathia. Ashar. Abadathyak. Verse 27. Waya Amar. Alayawa. Laban. Am. Na'a. Matazaathia. Kan. Bayanyak. There we go. Nakashathia. Waya Barakanya. Yahweh. Bagalak. Verse 28. Waya Amar. Salaki. Nakwaba. Shakarak. Auya. Wathana, verse 29. Waya Amar, Al-Yawa, Atha, Yediath, Ashar, Abadathya, Wa'ath, Ashar, Haya, Makwanak, Athia, verse 30. Kaya, Ma'ait, Ashar, Haya, Lak, Lapanya, Waya Parathaza, Larab, Waya Barak, Yahweh, Athat, Laragolia, Wayatha, Mathia, Ayasha, Gum, Anakia, Labayathia, verse 31, last verse, Wayamar, Ma, Athan, Lak, Wayamar, Yaikwa, La'a, Tathan, Laya, Salaki, Salaki, Wa'amawa, Salaki, Wa'ma, Ath, Thaisha, Hadabar, Hazah, Ashwaba, Arai, Tazanak, wait, no, Salaki. Hold on, Salaki. Yeah, that was right. Yeah, there we go. Ashamar. All right. That's it on that. What was that? Verse 31. All right, clap it up. All right, we almost get into it. All right, let's get back to it. Get this over with. All right. So Genesis chapter 30, verse 25. And it came to pass when Rachel had borne Joseph, that Jacob said unto Laban, send me away that I may go unto my own place and to my country. 26. Give me my wives and my children for whom I have served thee, and let me go. For thou knowest my service which I have done thee. 27. And Laban said unto him, I pray thee, if I have found favor in thine eyes, tarry. For I have learned by experience that the Lord hath blessed me for thy sake. 28. And he said, appoint me thy wages, and I will give it. Verse 29. And he said unto him, thou knowest how I have served thee, and how thy cattle was with me. 30. For it was little which thou hadst before I came, and it is now increased unto a multitude, and the Lord hath blessed thee since my coming. And now when shall I provide for mine own house also? So this is Jacob and Laban having a conversation. Jacob is trying to take his wife and his children and go on to his own place that he already established when the Most High had gave him that vision. All right? So look. All right? So, with that being said, Laban is telling Jacob, like, look, hey, man, like, ever since that you came here, you have blessed me. You know, you have blessed me in the sense that the Lord has been with me, and you know, I've gained more before you even came. So as far as you coming here, I gained more. Before you were here, I didn't gain as much as I am right now because you are here in your work and your service. So Jacob is saying, like, well, okay, so you're telling me pretty much like, okay, thou knowest how I have served thee and how thy cattle was with thee or with me. For it is little which thou hadst before I came, and it is now increased unto a multitude, and the Lord hath blessed thee since my coming. And now when shall I provide for mine own house also? So he said, like, when should I live? When can I be a man in my house? When can I live my life and establish my place and my family in this place? That's the question. Verse 31. And he said, what shall I give thee? And Jacob said, thou shalt not give me anything if thou wilt do this thing for me. I will again feed and keep thy flock. So they have an agreement. He's not asking for much. Jacob's not asking for much, but to exactly depart and build up his house with his family, which he has 4 wives and he has a lot of children. Okay? All right, so let's start right there. Get back to the Hebrew. 6, 7. All right. All right. Okay. See you. All right. Genesis chapter 30, verse 32. Ibar. Bakal. Tazanak. Hayawam. Hasar. Masham. Kal. Shah. Naquad. Watalawa'a. Wakal. Shah. Kawam. Bakashabium. Watalawa'a. Wanaqua. Sorry, Wanaqua. Right. By Isium. Wahaya. Shakaria. Verse 33. Wa'ainatha. But yeah. Taza the Quath. Yeah. Taza the Quathia. Vayawam. Makar. Kaya. Tabawa'a. Al. Shakaria. Lapanya. Kal. Ashar. Ayanyawa. Naquak. It's like Naquak. Watalawa'a. Bayazam. Wakawam. Bakashabian. Ganawa. Hawa'a. Athia. Verse 34. Waya Amar. Laban. Han. Lawa. Yahaya. Like. Yeah. Salakia. But Kadabarak. Verse 35. Vayasar. Vayawam. Hahawa. Hahawa'a. So like it. Hahawa'a. Ath. Hathayashim. Haquadium. Wa tala'ayim. Wa'ath. Call. Ha'izim. Ha'izim. Has a izim. Yeah. Hawaquatwa. So like Hawaquatwa. Wa tala'ath. Call. Ashar. Laban. Wa call. Kawam. So like Ba Kashafian. Ba Kashabian. Wayathan. Bayad. Banyawa. Verse 36. Wayasham. Darak. Shalashat. Yamawan. Yamayam. Salaki. Bayanwa. Wabayan. Yaikwa. Yaikwa. Salaki. Wa Yaikwa. Ra'ai. At. Tazan. Laban. Hanawatharoth. Verse 37. Wayaquak. Lawa. Yaikwa. Makol. Labana. So like Labana. Lak. Follows up. Salaki. One no wise. Wala wise. What I Mawan. What I Mawan. Waya Patazol. Bahan. Matazorwath. Labanwath. Laban Salaki. Laban Nawath. All right. Makasa. Halaban. Ashar. Al. Hamakwarwa'ath. Hamakwarwath. Verse 38, last verse. Wayatazak. Ath. Hamakwarwa'ath. So like Hamakwarwath. Ashar. Patazol. Barahatim. Vashaquathwath. Hamayam. Ashar. Taba'an. Hatazan. Lashawath. Salaki. Lenakak. Salaki. Lenakak. Hatazan. Salaki. Salaki. Waya Kamana. Baba'an. Lashakwath. Okay. All right. That's it on that. Salaki. That was a little longer. A little bit of tongue twister. All right. We're still doing good on time. All right. Just bear with me here. All right. Whew. Okay. All right. All right. Give me 1 second here. Let me check something. Yeah, let me check one thing real fast. Y'all bear with me. Okay. All right. All right. So, all right. All right. Let's go into the English. Genesis chapter 30, verse 32. And I will pass through all thy flock today, removing from thence all the speckled and spotted cattle, and all the brown cattle among the sheep, and the spotted and speckled among the goats, and of such shall be my hire. 33. So shall my righteousness answer for me in time to come, when it shall come for my hire before thy face. Everyone that is not speckled and spotted among the goats, and brown among the sheep, that shall be counted stolen with me. Verse 34. And Laban said, Behold, I would it might be according to thy word. 35. And he removed that day the he goats that were ring-strated and spotted, and all the she goats that were speckled and spotted, and everyone that had some white in it, and all the brown among the sheep, gave them into the hand of his sons. 36. And he set 3 days' journey betwixt himself and Jacob fed the rest of Laban's flocks. 37. And Jacob took him rods of green poplar and of the hazel and chestnut tree, and peeled white straight in them, and made the white appear which was in the rods. 38. And he set the rods which he had peeled before the flocks in the gutters and the watering troughs, when the flocks came to drink, that they should conceive when they came to drink. So what's happening right here is that Jacob and Laban had an agreement. Jacob said, okay, if you can do this one thing for me, this is what I'll do for you. I will take care of the flocks and make sure that they are taken care of, but I want a specific type of flocks with me as I'm on this journey. Can you do that for me? He said, yes, I can do that for you. And that's what happened. All right. Let's get back into the Hebrew and get going. All right. All right. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 6, 6, 7. All right. Cool. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. All right. Let's get it going. That's 38. All right. Genesis chapter 30, verse 39. Wayakamwa. Hatazan. Al. Hamakwamwa. Wata ladan. Hatazan. Iquadium. Naquadium. Wata la'ayim. Verse 40. Waha kashabian. Haparai. Yaikwa. Wayathan. Panya. Hatazan. Al. Iquad. Wakal. Kawam. Baitazan, Laban, Wayasha, Laya, so like Lawa, Idarium, Labadwa, Wala'a, Shatham, Al, Chazan, Laban, verse 41, Wahaya, Bakal, Yakam, Hatazan, Hamakasharwath, Washam, Yaithwa, Hamakwarwath, Laania, Hatazam, Bara'asim, Layakamna, Bamakwarwath, verse 42, Waba'ayak, Hatazan, La'a, Yashim, Wahaya, wait, Hatapim, Lalaban, Wahakasharium, Yaikwa, it's like La Yaikwa, verse 43, Waya Parathaza, Haraash, it's like Hayash, Ma'ai, Wayaya, Lawa, Chazan, Rabawath, sorry, Washapakwath, Wabadyam, Wakamarium, verse 30, chapter 31, verse 1. Waya Shammai, Dabaria, Bunya, Laban, Laamar, Laquat, Yaquab, Kal, Ashar, La Abayanwa, Wamashar, La Abalanwa, Asha, Kal, Hakabah, Hazah, verse 2, last verse. Wayara'ah, Yaquab, Tanya, Laban, Wahana, Ayanwa, Amwa, Katamawa'al, Shalashwan. And that's it on that. Clap it up again. All right. So give me 1 second here. All right, so lucky for that. Still kind of dealing with a little bit of I think I got a sickness coming on. All right, excuse me for the constant getting up. All right, so that was verse. Let's see, where I started at 39. Let me see. Let me double check. Oh, no, that's not it. Hold on 1 second. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so let's go. Let's finish off chapter 30, Genesis chapter 30, verse 39 through 43, and then we're going to go to verses 1 and 2 and chapter 31. Genesis chapter 30, verse 39. And the flocks conceived before the rods, and brought forth cattle ring-straighted, and speckled, and spotted, 40. And Jacob did separate the lambs, and set the faces of the flocks toward the ring-straighted, and all the brown in the flock of Laban. And he put his own flocks by themselves, and put them not unto Laban's cattle. So he separated his cattle and flocks with the same thing with Laban. So he separated to where Jacob has his own set of flocks, and so does Laban on the other side. All right, because that's what the request was, the agreement between Jacob and Laban. Okay. All right. So verse 41. And it came to pass, whensoever the stronger cattle did conceive, that Jacob laid the rods before the eyes of the cattle and the gutters, that they might conceive among the rods. So he set up a place to where the animals can conceive and their children, so that way Jacob can have his portion and Laban can have his portion. Okay. All right. So verse 42. And when the cattle were feeble, he put them not in. So the feebler were Laban's, and the stronger Jacob's. Verse 43. And the man increased exceedingly, and had much cattle, and maidservants, and men servants, and camels and asses. So he had maid servants, men servants, camels and asses, just meaning that he had cattle. He had people that were going to bring him a inheritance. So the Most High blessed him to where he increased in the manpower, and also to a food source as well, as far as the animals. Let's go ahead and get into the next chapter. Chapter 31, verse 1. And he heard the words of Laban's son, saying, Jacob hath taken away all that was our father's, and of that which was our father's hath he gotten all this glory. Verse 2. And Jacob beheld the countenance of Laban, and beheld it was not towards him as before. So something else is going on. Jacob overhears a conversation of the sons of Laban speaking how he pretty much robbed Laban of all the good of the cattle. And now Jacob has all the glory, and Laban has no glory at all. That's what's being said. Let's keep going. Let's go back into the Hebrew, and then we're going to read verses 3, 8 through 9. All right, and that's going to be the last verses of the day. Genesis chapter 31, verse 3. Waya Amar, Yahweh, Al, Yaiqua, Shawah, Al, Arakazah, Amawafyak, Wala, Mawa, Lak. Salaki. Wala, Mawala, Lad, Nak, Thak. That's a long word. Wa ahaya, Aimak. Verse 4. Waya Shalak, Yaiqua, Waya Kwawa'a, Larakol, Wa la aha, Hashada, Al, Tazanwa. Verse 5. Waya Amar, Lahan, Rara'a, Anakia, Ath, Hanya, Abiyakan. Abiyakan. Kaya. Ayanwa. Auya. Kakamo. Shalasham. Shalasham. Walaaya. Abaya. Haya. Aimadia. Verse 6. Wakana. Yedayathan. Kaya. Bakal. Kakya. Abedathia. Abiyakan. Abiyakan. Verse 7. Abiyakan. Hathal. Baya. Wahatakalak. Mashakarathia. Asharath. Manyam. Wala'ah. Nathanwa. Alahayam. Laharai. Aimadia. Last verse. Verse 8. Ka. Yamar. Naquadia. Yahaya. Shakarak. Wayaladwa. Kal. Hatazan. Naquadia. Wa'am. Ka. Yamar. Aiquadia. Yahaya. Shakarat. Wayaladwa. Kal. Hatazan. Aiquadia. So like 9 verse is the last verse. Wayatazol. Alahayim. Makwana. Abiyakam. Wayathan. Laya. And that's it on that. All right, we are towards the end, or we are at the end. Let's go ahead and finish it off. Genesis chapter 31, verse 3. And the Lord said unto Jacob, return. And the Lord said unto Jacob, return unto the land of thy fathers and to thy kindred, and I will be with thee. Verse 4. And Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field unto his flock. 5. And said unto them, I see your father's countenance, that it is not toward me as before, but the God of my father hath been with me. 6. And ye know that with all my power I have served your father. 7. And your father hath deceived me and changed my wages 10 times, but God suffered him not to hurt me. Verse 8. If he said thus, the speckle shall be thy wages, then all the cattle bear speckle. And if he said thus, the ring straighteded shall be thy hire, then bear all the cattle ring straighteded. Thus God hath taken away the cattle of your father and given them to me. So Jacob, of course, the Most High is speaking to Jacob, and Jacob goes into Rachel and Leah. He goes to them, and he's letting them know, like, look, I see the countenance of your father. I heard what his sons have said, of his father, and his countenance, looks different. When the thing is, I'm just trying to be reasonable because he changed my wages 10 times, and he also deceived me. So I think it's only fair that, how I handled this situation is the way that it should have been handled. But now this is going to be continued next week as we next Saturday as we get into this to figure out what's going to happen next between Jacob and Laban, Rachel and Leah. All right, so we are going to see you up until next time. But with that being said, I want to say Imajim, which means to stand. All right. Okay. All right. We are going to get into the prayers. Okay. All right. This is the Lord's Prayer, also too, Salakia. I imagine, which means to stand. Everybody stands. Wapanya Hakodam, which means to face the east. All right. So the east is going to be where the sun sets and rises. All right. So let's get to it. The Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abinah, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shekah, Yahweh, Malach Rakha, Dama'ah, Rakazaka, Hayah, Asher, Barakazak, Kawa, Hayah, Bashemayim, Mudalanah, the come, call you one, Basalakanawa, Kamawaknoa, Kasalaknoa, Kamawakanawa, Mala'ah, Dama'anawa, Basanawan, Abal, Habashinawa, Mayan, Ra, Kaya, Lakah, Hamalakwa, Wa Allah, Wa Kaparat, La Aulamu, Aman. The Lord's Prayer in English. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever, so be it. Amen. The power in the Hebrew. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Babakashah, Nathalana, Hakak, Baka'ah, Kabatala, Kamarwa, Hakak, Lazahar, Hamakazari, Hakak, Lahakim, Hamaki, Hakak, Arakawat, Hazam Allah, Lakarshi, Bashem Yahweh Kawada Aman. The power in the English. Lord, that's like Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai. Please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power of these unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. Bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Barak Benawa, Wayah Sha'ala, Wahabayah, Sakaria, Barak, Bashem Yahweh Shai, the Wadaman. Bless Israel. What we just said was in the English. Lord, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless us and Yasha'ala in the school. In the name of Yahweh Shai, our King, the Mashiach. Thank you, so be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayanya, Aharia, Ma'ayan, Yaba'ah, Azariah, Ma'am, Yahweh, Asha, Shemayim, Wa'rakazah, Ayathan, Lamawat, Regarka, Ayanawam, Shemarka, Hanat, La'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yashan, Shawamar, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shemarka, Yahweh, Tzazalka, Ayah, Imyaka, Yawamam, Hashamas, La'ah, Yakakat, Wayrat, Balayalai, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makara, Yashamar, Akapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Tzada'aka, Wabawaka, Mayatah, Wa'ai, Habalam. Psalms 121 in the English. I lift up my eyes unto the hills from whence cometh my help. My help coming from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth thee, Yasha'Allah, shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, Adam Yalaka, Aka Karash, Aka Shakwat, All Kayahana, Awabika, Yahami Yawan, Ra'ash, Amaka, Yariyama, Sawanat, Wayathat, Yatazakwa, Aka the Kawanyaka, Amara, Lakawa, Nakakadam, Magoya, Wala'aya, Sakar, Shamia Sha'ala, Ibada, Kayat, Nawatazawa, Ba, Ikawa, Ayaka, Wariak, Yakarakwa, Ahoya, Adawan, Wayashama, Alayam. Moa'awa, Wagarian, the bar, Wamawan, Wamalak, Alashat, Amishab, the Tazawar, Gam Ashua, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Sarai, Labanya, Lawat, Salah, Ashala Hum, Kamaki, Kasiyasa, Ra'a,
Kayami, Banako, Kayashwan, Nashamado, Bayan, Nara, Ayawa, Daman, La'adamasha, Thumwa, Nara, Ya, Awa, Kaira, because of Bab, because of Bab, because of Zolmana, Karla, said, Kumla. Why, so like, let me see where it's at. Ashar, Amara, Narashad, Nawa, Naara, Alahayam, Alahaya, Shethumwa, Kagogala, Kakwasa, Pani Rabaka, Ka'ash, Kabiri, Ira, Wa, Kalaba, Kalahat, Harian, Kandar, Gatma, Kasaraka, Wabasa, Wapatka, Galaham, Gala'a, Ayaham, Payaham, Falawan, Wayaba Prosper, Shaka, Yahawa, Yabashra, Wayaba Hawa, Ida, Wayakapara, Waya Abadu, Waya Da'ira, Kaya Abat, Shaka, Yahawa, Labatka, Ayawan, Alkaharakaza. In the English, Psalms 83, keep out thy silence, O Yahweh, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up a head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off and be a nation, that the name of Yahshua may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The Tapnaks of Edom and the Ishmaelite, of Moab and Hagarenes, Gabal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines, the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur also joined with them that helped the children of Lot, Salah, do unto them as to the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, as the brook of Hisar, which bears at Endor. If Cam has done for the earth, make the nobles like a rib, and I said, yea, all the princes as Sabbath and as Amuna, who said, let us take to ourselves the house of Yahweh in possession. O my power, naked like a wood, as a stubble before the wind, as the fire burns the wood, and as the flames of the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest and make them afraid of thy storm. Fill their faces with shame that they may seek thy name, O Lord. Let them be confounded and troubled forever, for yea. Let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. Power structures. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth and all things live, Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh, listen to us now, right now. To use the curses and punishment and instruction to the heathen that speak against us, like prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers in the schools, to use the curses and punishment and instruction to the heathen, and shake loose the church of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school, force the riches into thy sanctuary, to use the curses and punishment and instruction to the Edomites and the nations and the drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek, synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, hospitality, the Yankee movement, the lesbian movement, spies, works in witchcraft, NASA space programs, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet and the airways, the cable access channels, and the radio channels, convict the spirit of Israelite people that seek to stop us and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way, or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let use all the plagues causing to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the place in the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahweh Shah, Michael, Gabriel come down with flying saucers and punish all the heathens that come against us as with thy word. Cause us to know by all that is the angels that have done it. Cause it to spread through the media throughout the whole world. Cause it to shake out thy coming. In the name of Yahweh Shah, thank you always, so be it. All right, sorry, which means to turn. All right. So, like, give me 1 second here. All right. All right. All right. With that, that concludes the Sabbath service. Open up. All right. Of course, like I do have to salute. Courtesy salute for men in Israel, my Shabbat, Imajim, Barak, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah Barakathon, Yatmatah. Courtesy salute for the sisters. All right. Men in Israel, my Shabbat, Barak,
Salak. Imagine Barak, Yahweh Shamar, Allah Ta'ala, Shibbi Al Shai. Yazim Matal. Now class dismissed. All right, Shalom Israel. Stay tuned for the closing of the Feast of Tabernacles. Most likely, I believe it's this Friday on the 24th. Oh, so likely Thursday on the 24th. All right. With that being said, Shalom.